This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
The way that us as lawmakers were trying to look at how we were going to regulate this in the state, that's how we were looking through the lens of regulating it like any other type of medicine.
Medical marijuana, it is now legal in Florida, but should it be handled in the public schools for kids who need it? Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on medical marijuana in the public schools in a moment, but first, our top 7 stories at 7, and we begin tonight with the epic devastation caused by Hurricane Harvey. The hurricane destroyed homes and claimed lives over the weekend in southeast Texas. Even though it has been downgraded to a tropical storm, it continues to devastate parts of Texas with flooding. There have been at least 6 storm-related deaths. Other Texas cities like Dallas and San Antonio are helping by opening mega shelters to house evacuees. Today, as the rain continued to pour on southeast Texas, crews from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission started helping move people to dry ground. The state agency quickly deployed 25 officers to set up command bases in Beaumont and search and rescue operations. The number of fish and wildlife officers in Texas will soon top 100.
Florida is unique. We've been through a lot of hurricanes, and our experience here is tested. We do have swamp buggies, four-wheelers, airboats, and of course those shallow draft type boats that help out on these type of rescues.
Brown says the FWC hasn't set a timeline on how long its officers will remain in Texas. Rain continues to slam the Suncoast, including Longboat Key. There is still flooding on the Barrier Island, especially around the 5,000 block of Gulf of Mexico Drive, and that is where we find ABC 7's Rick Adams live with more. Rick.
Alan, thank you. I don't know if you could see this, but it is pouring rain out here, and that can't be good for all this flooding that's out here. As you can see, this flooding here is still pretty bad, and it can be dangerous as well. There are a few parts of the Gulf of Mexico Drive that have these flooded areas, and this is the main road that goes through Longboat Key. The rain that has been falling today certainly hasn't helped things, of course. Longboat Key police are urging drivers to be extra careful out here today.
Slow down, be safe, be observant, always use your safety equipment, your seat belts, your headlights, your windshield wipers. If you have to get off the road, put the hazards on, and always give us a call if you need help.
And public works crews have been out here all day trying to pump this water out, and they're just trying to keep up with it. It just keeps raining, and there are flooded areas all around here, so hopefully the rain will soon subside and we could start to clear out these roads on Longboat Key. We'll have more on this coming up tonight at 11. Reporting live from Longboat Key this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Alan, back to you.
Rick, thank you. Flooding in one Manatee neighborhood is so bad, residents had to be evacuated. Emergency management officials say the flooding at the Center Lake neighborhood is the worst they have ever seen. Dozens of families have been evacuated, and it may be days before they can get back inside their homes. Nearly a foot of water flooded dozens of homes. Fire crews were sent in to rescue more than 40 families.
They couldn't even just bring a regular fire truck through. It was waist high, so on the street. So they started getting us out one by one.
Emergency management officials estimate it may take 72 to even 96 hours before this neighborhood dries up after the rain ends. The flooding could be responsible for the death of a Manatee man. A 61-year-old man was found face down in floodwaters along 44th Court East in Bradenton. The victim's wheelchair was found tipped over in the roadway. Rescue crews attempted to revive the man but couldn't. The medical examiner's office is determining the cause of death. The rainy weather and wet roads may have contributed to a serious school bus accident in Venice. The bus was en route to Venice High School when the driver drifted into a ditch on Venice Avenue. There were 3 special needs students on board. 2 officers arrived quickly and were able to carry the students off the bus safely. The driver and the aide also were rescued. And a quick update on a closed road in Venice, the South Jetty Point Humphreys Park at 2000 Tarpon Center Drive in Venice remains closed. One other significant story tonight, an arrest has been made in a murder over the weekend. 20-year-old Larry Bernard Williams has been charged with first-degree murder after the bodies of his teenage girlfriend and their infant son were found inside a burning apartment building. 18-year-old Diamond Shellman and 8-month-old Jeremiah Shellman were found dead Sunday inside their apartment. The sheriff's office says Shellman reportedly had injuries inconsistent with the fire. Now back to our weather. And Bob, when is this going to be over?
Well, that's the big question, Alan, at this point. We are watching showers and storms developing out there in the Gulf of Mexico. We've had over 16 inches of rainfall, 16 at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport over the last 3 days, and that is historic for the most part. And it wasn't even a tropical storm. So flooding, obviously, as you reported, families being evacuated, roads closing. Some people saying it's the worst rain they've ever seen. Yes, it is here along the Sun Coast, and that's a result of a trough of low pressure that continues to move right over the top of us, basically. You can see some of that rainfall is now moved on temporarily. There are advisories and warnings, again, north of us in Hillsborough County, and tough driving throughout Hillsborough and Pinellas County. There are flood warnings there. For us, we are under a flood watch. The areas in that bright green that you see, those are all the area rivers, the Myakka River in Manatee County, also the Horse and Peace Creek, as again, those are the big issues right now. And the flood area warning has now since expired for us, but we are still under that flood watch until 8 o'clock, and that is again the result of some very heavy rainfall that has made its way through earlier today. Showers and storms heaviest now into Pinellas County and Hillsborough County, although starting to approach Anna Maria Island, we see some more rain developing there. Bigger showers and storms, a large cluster of them offshore about 100 miles or so. That activity, you can see, stretches for a good deal off into the Gulf of Mexico. All that is going to be kind of moving across our region later on tonight. So the flood watch will remain in effect through 8 o'clock. Some dry air down to our south, though, will eventually work its way in as that trough of low pressure over the top of us moves out of here. It'll take a while, and so we'll get it out of here, it looks like, by midday tomorrow. We'll start to see a little bit more sunshine around, have a chance to dry out, but boy, it's been rough going. Our rainfall totals here near Whitfield Estates, unofficially 22 inches. That's actually above some of the rainfall totals that we're seeing in Texas at this point. Just that our water is able to wash off a little bit more, where Houston obviously is a little bit more of a bowl there, and it collects and gathers there.
Incredible.
It is.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, medical marijuana is now legal, but how are the public schools dealing with it? When we return.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book and DVD. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. Call 1-800-558-8779.
The ABC7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. Download yours today.
Last fall, Florida voters voted overwhelmingly to make medical marijuana legal, but there are still a lot of questions and issues to be worked out, including how to handle the use of medical marijuana in the public schools. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick is taking a look at how our local school districts are handling it.
Every school district in the state is handling medical marijuana in its own way. Even right here on the Suncoast, Sarasota County School District and Manatee County School District are dealing with things differently. Now, while medical marijuana is legal in the state of Florida, it's not legal federally. So school districts are struggling to decide should they follow the state or federal government's lead. On the day before she was set to start kindergarten, Danielle Bryant had her first seizure. It was her first of thousands to come.
In January of 2016, she had 6 concussions in a week.
That's when Danielle's mom, Kathy, decided there was one treatment left to try.
The only thing that we haven't tried was medical marijuana. We've tried diets, we've tried literally hundreds of medications.
Immediately, her daughter's health improved.
She went from about 500 seizures a day to about 5 a week right now.
Today, Danielle takes medical marijuana twice a day in oil form.
Just pull it up in a syringe type situation, obviously without a needle, and then she just swallows it.
Kathy wants Danielle to become as independent as possible, despite her seizures. So Danielle is on the waiting list at the Community Haven. The problem is, staff at the Haven is not permitted to administer medical marijuana.
I would need to go there twice a day, every day, to give her medical marijuana if she were going to continue taking it, which obviously she would need to.
Suncoast school districts seem to have the same policy. Sarasota County Schools recently discussing the possibility of creating a medical marijuana policy for the district at a school board workshop.
Marijuana remains a Schedule I illegal drug under federal law, and simply having it on campus can at least raise the specter of federal violations and federal funds being in jeopardy, which we certainly do not want.
Instead of creating a policy, the group decided to send out a memo addressing the use of medical marijuana in schools. The district is not allowing school personnel to administer it.
We will work cooperatively with parents, which means we will not take possession, but that if they wish to come to school and administer it, we would make a private room available, that we will work with them in the administration, but under no circumstances would an employee of the district take possession of the product.
Manatee County schools are taking a similar approach, although they haven't established any official rules or regulations. The district is dealing with medical marijuana in schools on a case-by-case basis.
From a legal perspective, it's difficult to designate school personnel as a caregiver when the legislature clearly exempted them from being a caregiver.
General Counsel for Manatee County School District Mitchell Teitelbaum says that Florida law isn't clear regarding whether or not school nurses and other school administrators are able to and should be administering medical marijuana. State lawmakers say cannabis should be administered the same way any other medicine is.
The way that us as lawmakers were trying to look at how we were going to regulate this in the state, that's how we were looking through the lens of regulating it like any other type of medicine.
State Senator Greg Steube says it's likely that the state of Florida will see many more medical marijuana bills that will make it clear.
Every single year for the next few years, you're going to see some version of a medicinal marijuana bill.
Kathy Bryant hopes for her daughter Danielle's sake that Senator Steube is right.
So my hope is with all of it is that we can get to some place where there's more policies in place, where there's more openness about it, where we're not fighting this quote drug all the time and we embrace it as a medication that is hopeful.
Manatee County School District is still waiting for some direction from the State Department of Education before they say they'll put any new policies in place. Now, Sarasota County School District will continue to run things the way that their memo states until otherwise advised. Jess Dowdrick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
In a moment, representatives of the Sarasota and Manatee County school systems, the school bell is about to ring at the trapezoid.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received J.D. Power Awards for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here. Because
Why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds. No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch The Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
Welcome back. School districts across Florida, including here on the Suncoast, are trying to figure out how to comply with Florida's new medical marijuana law, even though under federal law it is still illegal. Last fall, Florida voters voted overwhelmingly to make the use of medical marijuana legal. But for the public schools, it is a sticky issue. While some school districts say medical marijuana will be administered to students just like any other medication as long as they have a prescription, other school departments still have no idea what to do. One reason, under federal law, as we mentioned, marijuana, whether it is being prescribed by a doctor or not, is still illegal. Joining us for more is Caroline Zucker, the chair of the Sarasota County School Board, Mitchell Teitelbaum, general counsel of the Manatee County School District, and Dr. Barry Gordon of the Compassionate Cannabis Clinic in Venice. So here's the interesting question. It's really kind of interesting how different school districts can interpret what they can do differently. I was looking at a story out of West Palm Beach. The folks out there say if a doctor says this is medication and the state of Florida has laws that it can be given to children in need, there will be appropriate policies in place, especially for something like this, and it will be dispensed like any other medication that the student should get. Why is what's being done in West Palm Beach not being done in Sarasota and Manatee County?
Well, for number one, it's really not that cut and clear. It is for the state, but we also have federal regulations, and federal regulations always takes precedence over the state. So we do not want to jeopardize our federal funding, so we're not doing that. What we're doing is working with the parents. Each principal will work with the parent, and the parent will come to the school and administer the drug.
Mitchell, is that the same procedure in Manatee?
It's not the same procedure, but there's different issues for that particular reason. Right now, there's no clear-cut decision how to interpret the new law. I can tell you there's constitutional challenges from the Second Amendment. When this was voted by the voters, it did not include schools, yet the most recent legislative sessions expanded it to schools. So there is a constitutional challenge that is ripe for someone to make. Not necessarily that it would be our particular school district, but notwithstanding, it does lead to confusion and some inconsistency.
Doctor, you have something here that is unlikely to change anytime soon, even if Florida basically fixes or modifies things to make the state law more understandable for school districts, because federal law is not going to change, especially under this administration. If anything, you have an attorney general who is vehemently opposed to medical marijuana. So, what is the community that you're involved with telling local school districts and parents?
Well, I think the state, basically did leave it up to the school districts, Alan, which is really interesting, and you see how different districts are taking different approaches. I think the most important thing is to remember the child and to remember the welfare of the child, of course. So it's all about access, and I think to a certain extent working with the parents surely is a reasonable thing to do. I think most parents of special needs children would be willing to make accommodations to make sure that the medicine is going to be administered in the school. I think the best news, quite frankly, is that a year from now, there may be other products available, topical patches, for example, things that could be put on at home that may be able to administer the medicine throughout the day so that perhaps it won't be as tedious as it is now.
That would be, that would solve the problem that apparently Sarasota is talking about in terms of not taking possession of it. Is that something that you are hoping will evolve in the future?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we don't want the liability of administering injections to our children, even though we understand the need for them. It's just, and we also don't want to go against federal law. It really puts us in a bind there. What is it we should and shouldn't do? And yes, of course, children come first. I mean, their needs come first. But how do you protect yourself, protect your staff, and take care of the welfare of the children? I mean, that's a serious question.
All right, we are just getting started in this conversation, and we'll have more on medical marijuana in the schools right after we check First Alert Weather. Stay with us.
Attention blood thinner users. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-554-3987. Again, that's 1-800-554-3987.
Attention Sarasota and surrounding cities. After 25 years in Sarasota, Bacon's Furniture and Design will be moving to create Southwest Florida's largest and most dynamic furniture store. We must liquidate everything in the store at huge savings as fast as possible. Do not miss this opportunity to purchase quality sofas, bedrooms, dining rooms, patio furniture, mattresses, and more. All at the absolute lowest prices possible. The Bacon's Furniture and Design relocation sell-off. Nobody beats Bacon's.
40 million. That's the number of free phones still available and the number of how many Americans can still get prescriptions free.
Free could be wonderful. That's why I'm still working at 77 years old to pay off my prescriptions.
I needed to have a prescription filled and I had to leave because I couldn't afford it.
Call now and see what's available for you. Free prescriptions. Over 10 million people get prescriptions free, and the program has expanded, so another 40 million can. Free dental. Over 15,000 dentists have provided over $330 million in free dental work. Free cell phones. 40 million free cell phones are still available with free minutes and more.
Free cell phone would change my life right now because it is something I cannot afford to get.
Medical supplies like back braces, knee braces, and diabetic supplies may be covered too. The free RX Plus hotline has saved callers over $12 million on their prescription costs. These free programs are now available to 40 million more people. Call now.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the ABC7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with your pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the ABC7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
Here we go. I'll wait till the nice intro comes in. There we go. This looks like Houston, doesn't it? Folks in a boat riding down the street in a canoe. Well, it's not. It's the Gulf Gate area in Sarasota. I know Houston has got a lot of the focus of the national media as of late, but in reality, 22 inches of rain has fallen in the last 3 days at Whitfield, and that rivals some of the cities, in fact, most of them in the Houston area. So we are getting our fair share of rainfall here. We don't have a tropical storm or anything like that, but we did have a tropical disturbance nearby on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that disturbance has moved on and is going to become the new tropical storm Irma. But it left behind this little disturbance and a little wake of low pressure, and that is causing all the excessive rainfall. It's not over yet. You know, I know a lot of folks want this to end, but it hasn't quite done that yet. Even the airport, Sarasota-Bradenton Airport, set a record as far as the amount of rainfall in one day in August, over 6 inches, and that is a new record, surpassing the old mark of just 4.5 inches. So it has been raining very heavily across the Suncoast. You can see that little trough axis. It extends from tropical depression number 10, and then it goes all the way right through west central Florida. And then little pieces of energy in the upper level of the atmosphere come by and move along that axis and brings us the torrential downpours, if you will. The atmosphere is so moist right now. The showers and storms that do develop, they produce locally heavy rainfall at times. There's already another flood warning. That's a warning, meaning flooding is taking place right now in Pinellas and Hillsborough County. We had flood warnings for South Sarasota County earlier this afternoon. That has since expired, but it won't take much for those to be reissued. That's the reason why the National Weather Service continues now with a flash flood watch until tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. So that gives you a little idea. It's not quite over, and you can tell that quite clearly. Look at this, a large area of heavy rainfall off in the Gulf of Mexico, and it's streaming in an easterly direction. Now, the atmosphere may moisten up a little bit more because of all the rain earlier. It's kind of diminished that somewhat, but before this arrives, it could certainly moisten up again. The heavy rain continues over Pinellas County. Driving not advisable into Pinellas County at this point. This is pushing east, too, so Hillsborough along I-75 will be tough going, too, as far as driving is concerned. And you can see all the rain out there in the Gulf of Mexico, and it's really gathering. That is torrential rain. It's only about 65 miles offshore, so you got to figure it's moving to the east-northeast at around 10, so you can count on about 6 hours from now. If this is still holding together, we're going to get some pretty heavy rainfall overnight. Now, the evening planner does call for some thunderstorms, not much here, mainly to the north of us. It could start to, we could start to see some scattered showers at around 9 o'clock and then continue, I think, to pick up right after midnight. Now, the good news is there's some real dry air down here in the Florida Straits, really dry air. It's slowly encroaching on into South Florida right now, and it looks like it's going to continue as this system moves away, the tropical depression soon to be Irma. It will take this line of low pressure and move it northward too. So that's what we're banking on right now. And this dry air will be looking pretty good on Wednesday as we're expecting sunshine and only a 20% chance for rain. 81 degrees right now. The dew point is at 76. The pressure 2990. That has been rising too. That's a good sign. The high today was only 86 degrees. The low was 75. And rainfall today, 2.23 inches. That brings the Sarasota-Bradenton rainfall total over the past 3.5 days now. Well past 16.5 inches of rain. And this is going to go down so far as the second wettest August in the history of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport and Sarasota-Manatee County area. It looks like we will again possibly get to number 1, but that's 100 years worth of data. That's pretty impressive. Showers and storms possible Tuesday morning. We may start to see a little break if that drier air slips in a little earlier, and that flood watch may again be expired earlier. Now, there's a light chop on the bays and in the waters tomorrow, but where those storms are, it'll be a little higher, obviously. Southwest winds at 10. The extended forecast, there's that Wednesday we're looking forward to. 20% chance for showers. And then we'll get back to basics with those afternoon and evening variety of storms. Alan will be back with his guests right after this.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see,
but they put such a strain on your life, you miss precious moments. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. Our simple 3-step process begins with a free evaluation, followed by an extensive preoperative exam to determine if you're a candidate for LASIK eye surgery. Depending on the results of your evaluation and eye exam, you and your surgeon will choose the LASIK option that works best for you. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation. That's a $100 value, free. Call the LASIK Vision Institute for your free evaluation and enjoy more of your life.
Call 1-800-813-0109. 1-800-813-0109.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Oh look, a bouquet of lump-livered drolls.
We went to a real school to show that bullying should be history.
You monkey-elbowed pockmarks. What a bunch of beef-witted pig nuts.
On Monday, October 2nd, let's all stand up for World Day of Bullying Prevention by rocking a blue shirt. Together, let's make bullying a thing of the past. Go blue and get your blue shirt at stompoutbullying.org.
Welcome back. Medical marijuana is now legal in Florida, but it remains illegal under federal law. So what are local schools supposed to do for those kids who have valid prescriptions from their doctors? Joining us tonight for more is Caroline Zucker, the chair of the Sarasota County School Board, Mitchell Teitelbaum, the general counsel of the Manatee County School District, and Dr. Barry Gordon, the Compassionate Care Cannabis Clinic in Venice. And Doctor, I'll start with you because Mitchell, shared with us the voters' referendum, which specifically says nothing requires the violation of federal law or purports to give immunity under federal law. Nothing in this section requires any accommodation of on-site medical use of marijuana in any place, including a place of education. So how do you get around that, especially when it comes to federal law?
Well, I think you have to look at the intent of what the constitutional amendment was all about, Alan. It was really about increasing access to medical marijuana for all the citizens of Florida. And I think to a certain extent that includes students. There are protections at the federal level with the Cole Memorandum and,
What is that, just for
viewers
to understand?
It came out at the federal level protecting state programs that were highly regulated from federal interference, But my point is, and believe me, I respect the legal aspects, and I think Senator Stubbe had a very excellent point in the report from earlier. Each legislative session is going to bring up new issues, and quite frankly, that's the reason why I continue to come on your show and advocate for, as we go along, to make this the best program that we can. So I think surely hearing all sides, from the legal aspect and the school board aspect is important. But you have to remember that what the constitutional amendment was about was ensuring access for all.
Senator Stubbe did say in Justice Story that the legislature will come back and modify its work in terms of regulations repeatedly over the next couple of years. But I'm wondering if either one of you, if your opinions about whether your local school districts should be able to administer medical marijuana to students will change unless, again, federal law changes, or there's some kind of direction from the federal government.
I think that that federal law right now is controlling, and under the Supremacy Clause, federal law will trump state law. In this particular instance, The last legislative session was a discussion of 8A and defined who is a caregiver. And a caregiver are the parents, and under the statute, which is in front of me, there can only be one caregiver. So if there can only be one caregiver and the caregiver can only be the parents, then how could school personnel also be a caregiver?
Here is also the reality that a lot of folks who are watching this right now, who parents with children who may have a prescription for this, they all live busy lives. They all, many families, both the spouse and the husband, the husband or wife work. So how could you expect any family member to come in 2 times a day or so to administer this to their child?
But how can you expect a teacher or someone in a school system to administer a drug that's illegal under federal law? How can you expect your teachers to do that? We are educators. Well, we're healthcare workers. I mean, we are now nutritionists. We feed them, clothe them. I mean, there has to be a point where you do not break the Constitution, the federal Constitution. I have always heard that took precedence over anything that the states did. So until that's fixed, I will not be comfortable, even though I could feel for the mother on television a little while ago who would love her child to be able to be administered the drug. And I understand that people work, in 3 and 4 jobs. I understand that. But still, it's an awful burden for us to put on our teachers and staff when it's not legal for them.
Well, with all due respect, I think, quite frankly, there are much more dangerous medications already being administered in the schools.
For instance?
Well, Adderall and other medications for ADD, absolutely. There, I would suspect, other seizure medicines that are being administered.
But
now,
those medications are legal under federal law.
Well, fair enough. But, Alan, you can talk about the morality, of where we're at the federal level at this point. All I know is that in the state of Florida, we have a program voted on by 71% of the state's, residents that is calling for increased access. And, I think a lot of these things are going to be litigated out over the next 2 to 3 years. I think in most cases, common sense and parents working with school districts, I think will resolve most of these problems. I think in general, most of the parents, of course, and the school personnel have the same thing in mind, which is the benefit of and the welfare of the child.
How many times do you have issues that school districts across the state see differently in terms of the legality of what they are allowed or not allowed to do?
Well, I would say to you it's quite common, but I think here there's confusion amongst the different school districts as to what to do next. For how do we develop a policy that would potentially violate federal law, and how do we develop a policy where caregivers were clearly defined, but yet could include school personnel, but not necessarily in these circumstances?
Let me ask you this question, because obviously medical marijuana has been legalized in other states before Florida did. I would imagine now that you have a number of years of testing out there about whether or not the federal government will then charge anyone with a crime. What have you learned or not learned from, let's say, California or Colorado or Washington State or so forth?
Well, I trust my attorney, and my attorney has not said anything about it being in the schools in those areas. So I really couldn't even answer your question because I don't know.
Well, I would say, Alan, we've talked about this on, other times I've been on the show. A lot of times you wonder why we are reinventing the wheel here in Florida, and you would think that there would be many, many cases where this has been discussed in the past, and my suspicion is, once again, it would tend to fall for the welfare of the child, and once again, I'm all about federal law and attempting to obey it. But I think to a certain extent, when we have excellent state law with the protection that we have with the Cole, memorandum and the Rohrabacher,
But Doctor, let me stop you there, because we may have had a change in the administration in Washington, and obviously the new Attorney General is adamantly opposed to medical marijuana, but the Obama administration did not change or sign anything into law that basically changed whether or not marijuana was an illegal under federal law.
Well, I think everybody's waiting, for those times, Alan. And I think, what we're seeing across the nation, quite frankly, is groundswell, positivity towards the benefits of medical cannabis. I think it's just a matter of, being on the right side of history right now and trying to do the right thing for each individual patient, and that includes pediatric patients as well.
Well, presently, it's a Schedule I drug. I mean, there's no question, there's no dispute amongst any of us. Under federal law, it's a Schedule I drug. Until that changes, the playing field does not necessarily change because federal law will trump state law.
Caroline, where is Sarasota in terms of its regulating or at least talking about the policy?
We just had a discussion on our last workshop on this issue, and what we came down with was, the superintendent was very clear, and what we came down with was that the principal at each school will work with the parents at that school, and the parents will be able to come in and administer the marijuana to their child.
And Mitchell, quickly with Manatee County.
Manatee County has not come into any situation where this issue has arisen. And if it would arise, it would be dealt with on a case-by-case basis.
So no parent has come to the school district and said, I want my child to get medical marijuana?
There's been no physician orders for marijuana to a student, nor has any parental request been made to date.
Okay, let's take a quick break and we'll be back with final thoughts when we return.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received J.D. Power Awards for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 1-800-468-1930. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Watch your Suncoast News at 6 on your streaming device for a chance to win a $50 Visa. It's easy. Just watch weekdays at 6 for the word of the week. Then enter the word at mysuncoast.com for your shot at a $50 Visa. We'll pick the winner each week. Good luck. ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
How are local schools dealing with the new medical marijuana law? Our guests join us right now for final thoughts. Caroline, I would imagine that we're going to get a lot of your comment on this topic tonight. What would you like people to know about the policy of the Sarasota School District at this point?
You know, while we understand the need for medical marijuana for some of our students, we also have to be aware of the possibility of litigation, and the cost that it would cost us for litigation would take away from the education of our children. So you're balancing, and until it's clear in law, legally, that we can administer marijuana to our youth, I would not be in favor of doing that.
All right, Mitchell?
Well, I think that it will rise and fall with the federal statute, and ultimately, right now, marijuana is a Schedule I drug. Until such change takes place, federal law will trump state law, and under the Supremacy Clause, we must follow the federal law over the state law.
Barry, you've been on the show many times over the last 2 years. you know, you were on before Florida voters voted for medical marijuana. Now that they have, but it seems that there are other obstacles that you're going to be fighting for. After hearing this conversation tonight, what are your thoughts?
Well, you know, the thing I want to bring out, Alan, is that the program is in existence. We have many patients going to the dispensaries and getting excellent medication and achieving relief. And I think what's going to happen is just step by step by step, we'll continue to work through these specific types of issues. And once again, that's the reason why I continue to accept every invitation that you give me to come and continue with the education about why medicinal cannabis is different than recreational cannabis. And especially when it comes to the pediatric population, there's so many benefits that can be had. And I know we'll get it worked out to get this appropriately into the schools.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you all. FYI, you can watch past discussions. They're on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And we want to thank all our guests for being here tonight. Caroline Zucker is the chair of the Sarasota School Board. Mitchell Teitelbaum is the general counsel of the Manatee County School District. And Dr. Barry Gordon is with the Compassionate Cannabis Clinic in Venice. When we return, we'll have a final look at your first alert weather. Plus, President Trump plans to visit Southeast Texas tomorrow. Stay with us.
Jacuzzi is proud to present our first ever safe bathing event. The Jacuzzi walk-in tub allows you or a loved one to take a safe and relaxing bath. Never climb in and out of a regular bathtub again. Our walk-in tub offers a low step-in threshold, fast drain technology, soothing hydrotherapy, and even a shower handle. Regain bathing independence with a Jacuzzi walk-in tub and enjoy spending more time with loved ones. Why wait any longer? During our safe bathing event, save $750 on a new walk-in tub. Receive $250 in safety upgrades and a $100 Visa gift card. But if you call right now during this program, we'll double the savings to $1,500, double the safety upgrades to $500, and double it to a $200 Visa gift card with your walk-in tub purchase. Going back to where it all began in 1956, Jacuzzi Incorporated was founded and the Whirlpool bathing category was born. Jacuzzi's patented Hydra Massage jets provide an unmatched bathing experience. Jacuzzi is proud to present our first ever safe bathing event. Never climb in and out of a regular bathtub again. Our walk-in tub offers a low step-in threshold, fast drain technology, soothing hydrotherapy, and even a shower handle. During our safe bathing event, save $750 on a new walk-in tub. Receive $250 in safety upgrades and a $100 Visa gift card. But if you call right now during this program, we'll double the savings to $1,500, double the safety upgrades to $500, and double it to a $200 Visa gift card with your walk-in tub purchase. A safe and relaxing bath is only a phone call away. Call right now to save double on a new walk-in tub. Call now.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but right now let's get a final check on our first alert forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Ellen. Two systems we're watching right now. We have a tropical storm forming right here. This is going to be Irma, but news on it, it's going to stay along the Carolina coast and just skirt by. It'll move rather quickly, so they are going to get some heavy rainfall, but the winds will not be a big issue with this one. The heavy rain will not compare at all to what they're seeing, obviously, with Harvey right now, with rainfall totals already up to 29 inches. Now, it could go as high as 50, but right now things are looking rather interesting as there's not a lot of deep convection southwest of Houston right now, but this system is expected to stay around all the way through Tuesday and then Wednesday, and so that could still bring some more heavy rain throughout that region, so it's not over yet. Catastrophic flooding has already been found there and will continue to be a big problem. That little line of low pressure extending from the system off the Carolina coast will continue to bring us rain through the night tomorrow morning, and then things will start to calm down a bit, I think, by midday tomorrow. So we'll start to see a little drier air settle in as a result of that trough kind of getting out of here right now. Still some energy in the Gulf of Mexico. It is all working to the east, and so we are still going to see possibility of 2 more inches of rainfall, and in some isolated areas a little bit more. At Apollo Beach right now, flood warning is in effect. In fact, all of Hillsborough County and Pinellas County under a flood warning currently, so if you have some travel plans northward, you might want to hold off on that a little bit. The rain is still coming down fairly heavy into Pinellas County, not so much into Hillsborough. It's raining lightly throughout much of the eastern portion of Hillsborough County, but that all's kind of headed off to the east at this point with some heavier showers offshore. Right now, a light rain near Bradenton, Ellenton, stretching off toward Palmetto. The heavier rain again near St. Petersburg and I-275. Elsewhere, storms starting to generate out here, not too intense, but they could intensify through the later evening. And again, the storm area, at least the heavier showers, still about 65 miles offshore. It's not to say we'll see more popping up, though, near the coast. The forecast for this evening calling for a few showers, and we'll see some clouds around up until 11. Then after midnight and more like 2 o'clock, that area of showers out there in the Gulf will have a chance to make its way on shore. You can see a lot of dry air down to our south. Despite that, they're still getting storms over Cuba, but this dry air is going to help limit things, especially on Wednesday. It'll take till about late Tuesday and into Wednesday before it works its way in our direction and brings us that drier air on Wednesday. Well, right now it's 81 degrees. We have some clouds around. The dew point temperature is still way up there at 76 degrees. The pressure 29.90 inches, and the high today was a little bit below average because of the rain. Above average rainfall at the airport. Now we have 20.88 inches of rain for the month, and that is the second highest total for the month of August in the history of rain here along the Sun Coast. So that's pretty impressive. Forecast for Tuesday, at least this particular model indicating some showers and storms around in the morning. But the afternoon, I think we'll see a little less action than we've seen over the past couple of days, and the forecast model indicating that tonight we'll get the showers. Tomorrow, this is the start of the day, and you can see showers and storms developing, but notice how it moves a little bit further off to the north, and that's what we're looking at for us on Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, for boaters, the winds will be out of the southwest at 10 knots, and we'll have seas running right around 2 feet with a light chop out there. The forecast for the next 7 days, rain chance at 50% now on Tuesday and 20. Nice. Wednesday will start to dry out a little bit, but then those storms will be back in the afternoon and evening variety beginning on Thursday. Alan will be back with primetime headlines right after this.
Attention Sarasota and surrounding cities. After 25 years in Sarasota, Bacon's Furniture and Design will be moving to create Southwest Florida's largest and most dynamic furniture store. We must liquidate everything in the store at huge savings as fast as possible. Do not miss this opportunity to purchase quality sofas, bedrooms, dining rooms, patio furniture, mattresses, and more, all at the absolute lowest prices possible. The Bacon's Furniture and Design relocation sell-off. Nobody beats Bacon's.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Checking our primetime headlines, parts of Texas, including Houston, are reeling from flooding caused by Hurricane and now Tropical Storm Harvey. Federal, state, and local officials are on hand attempting to help the victims stranded in the area And President Trump is preparing for a visit on Tuesday. John Loring reports.
It's the first major meteorological disaster of the Trump administration. Tropical Storm Harvey bringing catastrophic flooding to parts of Texas, especially Houston. On Sunday morning, the president held a teleconference from Camp David discussing recovery plans with Vice President Pence and cabinet members.
We're having a White House that is being very responsive, very concerned about the people of Texas, and a tremendous help to us.
I spoke to the president earlier, and he committed swift and immediate federal resources and all the support that the state needed. I was very appreciative of his direct and personal level of concern.
Mr. Trump says he's happy with how officials are responding, tweeting great coordination between agencies at all levels of government. Continuing rains and flash floods are being dealt with. Thousands rescued. The White House says the president will go to Texas to see the devastation firsthand on Tuesday. In the meantime, Trump says the focus must be life and safety. The National Weather Service says more than 2 feet of rain fell in Houston on Sunday. Harvey is expected to bring up to 50 inches of rain by midweek.
This disaster is going to be a landmark event. We're setting up and gearing up for the next couple years.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Late today, President Trump spoke about the response to Hurricane Harvey, as well as his controversial pardon of former Arizona Sheriff Joe Arpaio. The president defended his decision to pardon Arpaio, who was convicted of racially profiling Hispanics.
I stand by my pardon of Sheriff Joe, and I think the people of Arizona who really know him best would agree with me.
North Korea has done it again, another launch of a ballistic missile, this time over Japan. U.S. spy satellites had been observing preparations for the missile test, most likely an intermediate-range missile that could reach Guam. The missile was fired toward the sea east of the Korean peninsula and flew over Japan. This launch comes 72 hours after 3 short-range ballistic missiles were fired. Tropicana Field in St. Pete is now the new home of the Houston Astros, at least for their next 2 series. The Astros were set to host the Texas Rangers, but will now play a 3-game series from Tuesday through Thursday. The Rays are out of town all week, so the Astros will also play their next series against the New York Mets. There as well, the MLB and its Players Association have pledged $1 million to hurricane relief. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.